Alrighty, we are live and in living color. Welcome to another fantastic episode of This Week in Reselling, where we interview special guests each and every week from different parts of the reselling world. Here we'll discuss the highs and lows of reselling and dive into great conversation. We are positive that you're going to hear something that's going to help you become a better reseller. I'm your host, Ray. And guys, we have a very special episode today because, as you can tell, we've been doing pre-recordeds because the majority of the month of September, I will be out of town doing a lot of different things. But today we have a very special episode. My guest, not first time guest, which is the second time, Chris?
Yes,
third
second time,
Okay.
and then I did your
the Monday night thing, right? Okay, perfect. So we have here Chris, none other than Flip the World, Texas. Cue the sound horns. There it is. Look at that. Ooh, baby. And guys, we're here to talk about Whatnot.
What?
I really wanted to talk about Whatnot, give you guys some tips and tricks, pros and cons about Whatnot, because Whatnot, it's a big player in town, and today is an awesome day because Chris just sold his 20,000th item on Whatnot.
20,000.
Yeah, that is insane. So, Chris, for the people that may not know you and the GOAT of Whatnot, and I know it's been a while coming, how long have you been selling on the platform?
July 18th, 2022 was our first show.
So,
like 15
just
months?
just a little past a year. And that's insane. So, Chris, I'm gonna throw it to you, kind of introduce yourself, just kind of how you got started, kind of as a reseller, where you pivoted from eBay now to full-time Whatnot seller. You don't have any, do you even have anything listed on eBay currently? Is there a store? Is just done?
We deactivated 1,127 active listings at the end of July.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So 0 listed on eBay.
0 active listings.
Chris and his wife Stacy, and how many children do you have, Chris?
Ocho, 8.
8 kids, ladies and gentlemen, and he's a full-time reseller, and he only sells on one platform, and
4 days a week.
4 days a week, and that is Whatnot. So, Chris, I'll throw it to you. Kind of, give us the little spiel there.
Yeah. So, me and my wife were part-time resellers while we owned and operated our own pest control company, and then we would use the reselling money to buy better equipment and stuff for the pest control company. And then in COVID, we were told that what we do as a profession and what we feed our family and support ourselves with was not essential. And so we were technically unable to work. We had to call all of our customers and say, hey, sorry, we can't come out. And then we found out that larger companies, Terminex and, large name national chains, they were essential. So they went in and took basically our customer base and we just relied on, we had a death pile, which, turned into how we survived. And then we're like, hey, you know what? Let's just not go back. We enjoy this. Let's not go back. So we went full-time eBay resellers and did that for years, doing the daily refinement tech and sports method, 30 a day, then 40 a day, and then every day. And then we signed up for Whatnot. We actually saw Josh, Harry Tornado, doing Whatnot. I messaged him about it. He sent me his referral link, of course, because, he wanted that money. And we signed up, got approved, and started just selling our inventory that we had on eBay. And most of it was brand new shoes. Was not going well. Taking big L's like every show. Really wasn't paying attention to what the platform was there for. Was just trying to make it a new eBay instead of its own thing. And then one day we were at the bins and my wife was just like, you should just go live from here and see what happens. And we went live, and it took like 4 months to build it up live from the bins. And then in December 2022, I told her, I was like, let's go all in. I'm all about burning boats and just going with it. You can always fall back into the eBay method. We know it works and we know how to do it. So January 1st, shut down eBay, all in on Whatnot. We've been doing it ever since. All in.
And okay, so you mentioned something for the people that don't know for some reason. I know this is a reselling podcast, and we're going to talk a lot about reselling. But Whatnot, if you don't know, is a live reselling platform where you can sell anything on there. So it's
Yes.
kind of like, what would you say? It's like QVC meets
Yeah.
like
Twitch
eBay.
meets eBay.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So
it's entertainment that you can sell. Selling platform that
yes.
you can also entertain.
So you in the beginning, Chris, you talked about how you were not making any money selling, brand new shoes. Like what about that did because a lot of people are gonna do what we did in the beginning, try
Correct.
to make it like the next eBay. How can we do this? Try to get eBay numbers out of the items that we're selling.
So
What was the issue with that, in your
what I
opinion?
was doing wrong is the same thing that we see in the community of new resellers coming in, where they try to make Poshmark like eBay, or they try to make
Mm,
Mercari like eBay. They're different animals. They have different sell through rates, different things sell for different prices, different categories. And I went in with the expectation that, well, if this shoe sells for me regularly for $59.99 plus shipping on eBay, I'm going to get at least $50 on Whatnot.
mm-hmm.
And that's just not the case. Typically, you're going to take about a 30% less. I don't know how to say that properly without sounding
Yeah.
stupid. So, you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. You're going to make
Yes.
about 30% less than the sold comps on eBay on Whatnot. But the ability to move items fast and get paid almost immediately once you hit a certain criteria is just unheard of as far as a selling platform.
And for the people that don't know, the criteria is you have to sell 1,000 items and maintain, I think, a 4.8
Correct.
seller rating on there, which is not hard to do.
It's super easy. Like the thousand items sold it can seem daunting, but there's some tips and tricks you can do to make that happen quickly. Obviously, schedule a lot of shows, but
Mm-hmm.
depending on what you're selling, like the tip that I usually give new sellers is go to the dollar store and find like the little Disney keychains, or like whatever, Transformer, Ninja Turtle keychains that you can buy 20 of, and then just run those at $2. You got bulk, so there's 20 items that sell $2. You're
Yeah,
not making a lot of money, but your goal shouldn't be to make a lot of money in the beginning. Your goal should be to get that 1,000, because you want that instant payout to where you're no
instant
longer
payout.
using your money.
Yeah, and the instant payout comes out like once you print off that shipping label, it gets put into the Whatnot. I guess it's like an account, and then from
Correct.
there you can either transfer it to a bank account and transfer it to your PayPal account. But if you
Correct.
don't have quick that 1,000 and then 4.8 rating, I think I don't even remember, the item has to be delivered
Correct.
and
It's like
then you
it's
get
like
paid.
Poshmark. It has to be
Yeah,
delivered and rated.
yeah. So, and guys, I can't stress enough what Chris just said about how quickly you can get the money. Like the other day, I wanted to conduct an experiment last Friday. A person from work gave me a Super Bowl 30 hat, champions Dallas Cowboy hat that they had in their attic, because they know that I sell on Whatnot, or just a reseller in general. So they gave it to me the same day. I set up a show just for that hat in the afternoon. Within 3 hours of me having that hat, I literally had the money in my account, and it
Yep.
sold for like $40, and that was free money. And I know Chris has done some crazy stuff, like selling items on on an airplane, and just, I mean, the platform is like, it's, would you say it's still like the Wild West of
It's yes, yeah, but they are actually, like, with all the new updates and implements that they're putting in. I mean, the other thing that I think is a misconception is when something new comes up and Whatnot, I think now is like coming into its fourth year.
mm-hmm.
But for the first, like, probably year and a half, it was mainly sports cards. So a lot of people weren't really paying attention. And then they
Mm-hmm.
started opening up different categories. Now I think the rep at FlipCon said they have 57 or 87. I know there was a 7
Okay.
different selling categories. I mean, they have a home and garden. You can sell food on there.
That's
Health and
crazy.
beauty just got added. But I think when something new comes along, a lot of times people are like, oh, well, it's small, it's probably not going to last. Um, this is a $1 billion in company.
Mm-hmm.
Their last round of funding was $487 million. Their last evaluation was like 7.1 billion. This is not a small app.
No,
This is
no, it's
something that's
not.
going to continue to grow, that has very large investors backing it.
And it's, I mean, a lot of people say it's like the new trendy platform, and they have, of course, with something that's good, there's going to be copycats. So
Correct.
there's other companies out there that are trying to mimic exactly what Whatnot is doing, but Whatnot, like you said, has the investors, has the influencers, has the right people backing it to be a successful platform, and then you have, as much as I love eBay, you have Grandpa eBay just trying to still figure stuff out, and they can't understand what people want.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're always, Whatnot is always evolving. Like, first it was just auctions, and now they have like a buy it now, so where you can post stuff on there. You can, just like eBay, you can go on there at any point, look for an item, and it could be, someone could have it and you can just buy it right there. They don't have to be live, they don't have
Correct.
to be on a show or anything like that. But
I love searching the marketplace.
yeah, because you can still find great deals on certain items that you're looking for or looking to resell, buy and resell. And a lot of people, like you, Chris, you're buying things from the bins and selling them on Whatnot, which is great from people like me that are still dabbling into eBay, that haven't gone completely away,
Yeah.
that can still find profitable items to purchase on Whatnot and put on their eBay store. Great
Yeah.
example. And go ahead, Chris. I didn't mean to
Oh,
cut
no,
you
no,
off.
go.
No, great example. Last week you had a mystery item on your Whatnot stream that you found in the bins, which was a Supreme hoodie, and our good friend Paul, the Philly Flipper, purchased it. And I believe, how much did the item go for?
I started it at $100 and it went for 110. He was the only. I'm sorry, there was two bidders, him and another person, and he won it for $110.
Which is crazy cheap, because I mean, a
It's the
Supreme box hoodie, I mean, easy $400.
royal blue too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like that's crazy. And something that you did before that is you ran it through an authentication program, so you made sure that it was authenticated.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I
So,
had literally every vintage kid that was at the bins come look at
oh,
it.
that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So, like I said, you can still find great deals, especially from people like Chris. And I mean, it's awesome. But what were you gonna say, Chris, before I cut you
I was
off
gonna
so
say the
rudely?
the light bulb moment that we had on Whatnot was, we realized that the platform is great for two things. One, it's for entertaining.
Oh, for sure.
It's for entertaining and building an audience and learning your customers, which is essentially marketing. That's what every big brand does. That's what Nike does. That's what's Coca-Cola. All the retailers that you go to the mall and purchase, they all do the same marketing. They find out who their target audience is, and then they make items for those people. So it's the same thing. And then two, we no longer consider ourselves resellers. We
Mm-hmm.
are virtual wholesalers. Our
Mm.
job, our goal is to move as many products as we can for a price that we make good money, but other people can also make money in the reselling community. Or if it's for personal, they're still getting it for a great deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what is the actual category that you put everything under
So we
on?
primarily sell in the women's contemporary.
Okay.
And then if we do a shoe show, obviously we'll sell in the sneaker category. But since we mostly sell clothing, it's going to be the women contemporary.
Okay. Okay.
There is an
And
estates and garage sale category, but you can't at this time. There's only 4 categories that you can actually pay to promote, similar to like a promoted listing on eBay.
yes,
And that's going to be women's, men's, I think sneakers, and then like cards.
you can do electronics as well.
Oh, and electron. Okay, so they've
Yeah.
opened up some more categories,
Yeah.
but
So, because that's mainly the platform that I sell on is
oh, okay,
electronics. Because Whatnot reached out to us because of all the access we have of cheap inventory when we go to the Amazon bins and stuff like that.
correct.
So they reached out to us, and before they did that, I was a. If you looked up Whatnot hater in the dictionary, you would have saw a picture of my face. And still, it probably, we started Whatnot March of this year, or
Okay,
March of this year, and it probably took us 3 shows in to really figure out what we were doing and how the platform would work into our favor.
For
And
sure.
because the first 2 we were breaking even, which was great. And I knew from the beginning, like a lot of people start off their items at $1, which
Yeah.
is probably the biggest mistake that you can make, because after fees, you're not making any money.
Yeah.
So
You're already setting yourself up to fail, but then you're going to blame the platform.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I knew at least start at $2. So if it's $2, at least I'm making a little bit of profit.
Yeah.
But we did well our third show, and we started to figure out what people would like
Yeah.
and how we can do certain things to just kind of help us along the way. Now it's like all gun ho, because, and to a point to where I'm running to an issue to where I do not have enough inventory to
Isn't
keep
that a great problem?
like good inventory that I know that I can sell for profit. Because unlike you, like the buyer that comes to my show, because it's electronics, is the final buyer. So I
Yes.
can't necessarily sell it to a reseller unless they completely get like a stupid good deal. But mine's the last person that would get it. So stupid things like massage guns, and like people love them, and
Yeah.
like smartwatches doesn't even necessarily have to be like a name brand. So now we're looking at certain avenues and different ways to get that inventory in bulk, because like you said, I would rather sell something that I know is going to sell quickly the same day and make $4, but I'm selling it the same day.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Volume.
Like I could sell 100 of these and make $4 a piece. That's $400.
Exactly.
So people need to start thinking that way. It's more of a volume game than like
And
with
the
big
same thing
profit.
works for every platform. I mean, you could probably remember when you had that light bulb moment for eBay, when you
Mhm.
realized, oh, this is how I do it.
Yeah. So
It's
that being said, Chris, let's move on and transition into like the beginning of what you were doing. I just talked about like the woes of like what can somebody that's starting off right now do to turn their shows into more of a successful show, more of they're making money, they're starting to get the hang of it. Someone right now is listening and they're saying, man, I really don't want to know, I don't want to do this whatnot thing. Maybe they're a little more of an introvert. And what's some tips that they can do to just kind of get that ball rolling and help them along the way, kind of take a little bit of a shortcut, if you will.
for sure. So, right off the bat, like if you are not the person that wants to be on camera, like that's just not who you are, don't be on camera. You don't have to. There are so many people that kill it on
Mm-hmm.
whatnot that you never see anything. Sometimes you don't even see their hands. You can have, if you're selling clothes, you can put have a nice clean canvas, or you can have it crazy like
Mm-hmm.
this, whatever, as long as you can see the item, and then just hang it, and so all they see is your arm and hear you talking. If you don't want it, if you're camera shy, if you're selling jewelry, you can turn the camera around on a tripod and just show that. So don't think that you have to be on camera to crush it on there, because there are so many people that you have no idea what they look like, and they are selling a crap load. Two is 15-second auctions. You got to remember, you can't come to Whatnot thinking you're going to get eBay max dollar. This
Mm-hmm.
is basically a wholesale app. Expect to get about 30% less than you would on other platforms, but you're moving it quickly. That's why I always recommend 15-second auctions, unless you're selling something that is complicated to describe or it takes length, because people are very fast paced. And for someone that's signed up and is nervous about their first show, don't load 100 items.
Oh,
You're going to have, and I'm just being a realist, you're going to have maybe 5 to 10 people in your first stream. That's just how it is. We
yep.
had 2, and then it went to 4 for like
Uh-huh.
3 months.
Wow.
So
That's
don't,
when you say that, I think that's so unbelievable considering the following that you have now.
it just, yeah, I mean, it literally, it we're not large. Our biggest platform is Whatnot by thousands. Our Instagram is small compared to Whatnot. Our YouTube is small compared to Whatnot. We literally built this from nothing. and 2 to 4 people for like the first few months. But don't get all excited and load 100 items for your first show, because there's not going to be maybe more than 10 people. And you're going to get discouraged and you're not going to run through all those 100. So I like to say, keep it to about 15 to 25 items. Pick your best 15 to 25 so you can maybe sell 10 of them. Feel good about yourself, and that's going to get you learning how to use the platform, learning how to engage, and then put all of that below this. The number one thing that I concentrate on every single time that I hit go live is I focus on the people that are there. I don't care if it's 4 people, 40 people, 400 people. I'm going to make sure that my goal is to engage with those people, entertain, interact with them in the chat, and make them feel like they're part of the show, because they are the show. That's the one thing people don't understand. They're the ones buying. So you have to entertain them.
That's a great tip. That is a great tip.
Half
And
the time I don't even know what I'm holding up, because I'm just like trying to entertain the people, and then they'll bid on it.
That's fantastic. I know that you touched a little bit on what you were just saying about your following. Like, I think you and me are kind of in the same boat, because we do have a little bit of a following in social media outside of whatnot, but not enough to where we can start a show and get like Harry Tornado 100 people, or Kevin the Commonwealth Picker 100 people in our show. Like, we don't have that kind of following.
Correct.
So for someone that is in the same boat and doesn't necessarily have a following on social media, like you were saying, like the tips of just kind of keep doing shows consistently, interact with the chat, make them part of the family. Like, is that how you gain your following? Because I mean, how many you have? What, anywhere from 80 to 100 people in your show consistently now?
Yes, we have a. So basically, what we did is, it's not my show. It's not it's not my and Stacy's show. It is the Flip the World Army show. We're just the hosts. Like, they control the chat. They control everything. So what we did, and this was a switch for us. This is where we went from 4 people to 20 people to 40 people. Is when we were doing those shows, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, it sucked being in the bins for hours, holding up stuff and running it with 6 people. But what changed and what clicked is 2 things. One, I stopped doing shows looking for items that I thought should be sold.
Yeah.
And then 2, I had the same 4 to 6 people coming to every stream. So I just started asking them, what do you want? And then I made sure that I was finding stuff that those 4 to 6 people would buy in abundance. So then I only had 4 to 6 people in my stream, but they're all buying 10 to 20 items each. So then it doesn't matter how many people, because the money starts to grow.
Yes.
And then you start getting people rating you, because you're starting to build a little momentum. And then you've got 10 to 15 people. And then I start asking those 10 to 15 people, what do you want me to bring to the show? I will go find it. So I started catering. So I know people see like, oh, I only have 5 people in my live. Are those 5 people showing up every time you go live? Then those are loyal potential customers. Those are, I hate using the word fans, but those are people that want to support you. Find out what they want that they're willing to buy from you.
That's a great tip. And I know I've experimented with selling other things besides electronics, like trading cards and Lego and other things. Like, I like Lego. So like,
I saw that Elsa card.
Yeah. Well, I wish it was mine.
Dude.
The person that purchased that pack paid $12 for that pack.
And probably had a heart attack.
And you know what? And he bought, after that, he bought 10 more packs.
Oh, of course.
Because he was like, I'm straight.
He's like, I'm rich. I might as well.
And it keeps increasing and going up in value, which is crazy. But that was the 3rd box that I opened up of that trading card thing. The first show that I did, I didn't think anybody was going to come, because I don't sell trading cards. That was the first time I sold trading cards. And I was consistently getting $27 to $30 a pack for that, because there was so in high demand. And I probably had 10 people in my stream. So the right 10 people can
Yep.
make a huge difference. So that
Exactly.
leads me to my next point. It doesn't matter really how many people are in your stream. What matters is the right people to be in your stream.
Yeah.
If
And
you have
another
good
thing that
stuff, go
really
ahead.
helps is everybody wants to see 100 people in their stream. But if it's your second show, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude in any way, but I don't think you're going to be able to handle 100
No.
people when it's only you have to learn how to navigate, how to move, how oh crap, it says I have poor connection. How do I fix that? I have to minimize my show and come back. Oh
Mm-hmm.
no, it's not loading. What do I have to do? You have to learn all the intricacies of the app while you're live and in the moment. And
Mm-hmm.
with 100 people, you get stressed out. And once you start showing any sign of stress or anything like that, it goes downhill quick.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. And that might be a reason why people don't want to sell on whatnot, because they're just anxiety. They get stressed out. It's too much, which is on
Live is
me.
different.
It is different, and which that leads me to our next point. And I know I have like these pointers in my head. So now that you're doing, you figured out whatnot. Now it's like a fine oiled machine. But to get to that point, because to me, I'm finally to the point to where, okay, my the structure before, during, and after a whatnot show is finally complete. So like for instance, for me, like I like to load everything up beforehand, like you do as well,
Yes.
before the show, and then have the show. During the show, I have my brother-in-law Dustin on the other side behind the camera. I'm holding the item up. He's ready to run the next thing. Right? I hand it to him or whatever. After the show, when I'm packing 100 orders, my wife loves to pack things. So on Sundays, that's usually when we pack everything. So we have these systems in place to where it can run smoothly. But for someone that does it full time, that has 4 shows a week, how did you come up with what is your system of doing everything? Because it's got to be a little different from doing it live at a location.
For sure. So the we have so at the location we have two carts. We have one that has the stuff that's going to be run and one that has the stuff that's sold. Now I like to just fold and make it look pretty because everything's weighed on a scale. So if I can get as much stuff in the cart, I don't have to separate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything's sold per pound. So once the show ends, everything just goes into the back of the car, which is chaos, but it's folded chaos. And then when we get to the house for the shipping, which is this room, it's also the shipping room. I have tables over here. I have 6 large, like just totes,
Mm-hmm.
and I take them outside to the car. One's for shoes, one's for shirts, one's for jackets, one's for crew necks, one's for jeans, and then one's for like plush and hard goods if we ever sell some of that stuff. And then we just sort, and then we bring them in here, and then I pull up the shipping's display, and then I do it by weight. So that'll give me whoever ordered the most stuff to the least, and that'll
Ah,
that'll help knock down the amount of items, because we typically sell 125 to 160 items every show, and I have to have all of the shipping done before because like we did a show today, we're going to be right back at the bins at 7:30 in the morning. So I have to have all of this already shipped behind me, ready to go, because I can't bring more inventory in because there's a chance of
yes.
mixing stuff up.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I
So
never thought about
usually,
that. Yeah.
because of that system and because I do it by weight, so I get all the big orders done first, and it knocks that number down. So the first person bought 22 items. Boom! Now we're from 150 to now we're at 126, and then we just keep dropping like that, to where the number goes down. I can usually get it done in about 2 hours.
Yeah. And people forget about that. Like, it's great to sell 100 items, but if you don't have the systems in place to ship 100 items, it is miserable.
Yeah, the only break I get is on Fridays, because we are Fridays and Mondays, because our post office isn't open on Saturday or Sunday. So
Mm-hmm.
if I set our show on Friday, I technically have until Monday to get it shipped. I'll
Mm-hmm.
still pack it on Friday night because I don't want it to cut into the weekend, because I got baseball with multiple
Yeah.
kids and all this stuff. But at least I have that. Oh, I don't feel like doing this today. And then Mondays, since we don't work on Tuesdays, I can always do the shipping on Tuesday as well. But for the most part, I ship the same day just because Whatnot gives you 2 days, but I like seeing the people leave the rating like fast shipping, insanely fast shipping.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we like to do the same because we usually do a show on a Saturday,
Yep.
and by Sunday we have everything already packed up, ready to drop off on Monday.
Because it
And
shows your buyers that you want to get their item to them. They're excited that they bought it.
mm-hmm,
Let's get it to them because then they're going to come back and buy more.
yep, yep. So, so that's a great segue to the rating system for Whatnot. Um, people can leave bad ratings on there, but a lot of the reasons I really have a good experience with. Usually, when somebody leaves a bad rating, there's like a misunderstanding, or they're just salty, they pay too much, or buyer's remorse.
For
Because
sure.
when you start bidding on something and you end up paying way more than you want to, when you get the item, it's they're kind of leave a little salty. But
Or they request a cancellation and you don't
yes,
accept the cancellation,
exactly.
and then they leave you a bad rating
Uh,
because they wanted to cancel it because they had instant buyer's remorse. But
yep.
that's I love that Whatnot is it's the first time, and we're all kind of like beat dogs when it comes to reselling because we've been so mistreated from other platforms as far as the seller or the buyer's always right.
Yes.
So to have a platform that not only stands up for its sellers but supports them and says, "Hey, we're all adults here. If somebody bids, you don't have to cancel it." Because they knew what they were doing. They literally
Mm-hmm.
have to swipe. It's not like
Exactly.
I accidentally dropped my phone and it just happened to land on the bid button. You literally have to
Yep.
swipe the bid.
And
So
they
there's no
changed that
accident.
because before it used to just be a tap.
For the first 4 months, it was tap. And then what they realized was too many people were, if there was 100 people in the stream and 10 of us all tapped at the same time, the price went up $10. And if you were trying to tap from 8 to 9, but 10 people tapped at the same time, now you're tapping on number 19. You're like, oh, whoa, I was trying to tap on 9.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have it as a swipe.
Which is great. And that's another thing that Whatnot is doing to make their platform better. And
And they listen to the sellers.
yes, they
You
do.
can
And
literally message seller support and they will respond to you within 24 hours, if not sooner. I love it. And again, you have a direct contact. I have a direct
mm-hmm.
contact. You can actually have a direct one-on-one contact. I mean, that I've never had a platform that I've sold on that actually listened. Even if I just have like hey, a couple months ago, Post Malone broke Whatnot.
Yeah.
I was running a show that night and it crashed my show and I lost like 26 orders.
Oh,
I was like, hey, like I have they're gone. I have no idea where they are. I have these people's money, but I don't know what they bought. What do I do? And they went and redid the show. They sent me an email where I could go back and watch the show on how they see it and see
mm,
who bought what. And it was, I mean, what platform is going to go out of their way to do it? Oh, you'll figure it out.
yeah, yeah. And that again, for instance, I had a negative review in my recent show. Someone purchased a pair of headphones and they paid $80 for, so they instantly had a buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
They wanted cancellation. I clearly say it in the show notes. Absolutely no cancellations. Please bid responsibly.
Yep.
There's a little notes that you can put into a scheduled show. Just kind of you can put anything you want on there, but that's just so they gave me a bad rating, and they sent Whatnot an email saying that the item that received wasn't the item that they purchased. So Whatnot sent me an email and said, "Hey, can you prove that this was the actual item that you sent out?" And I'm like, "I sure can." So a thing that you can do, or several things that you can do. Number one, if you go back
Because it's a
into
recorded live stream.
it's a recorded live stream, so you can go back and look at your recording, and then for each item that you sell, there is a video receipt. I don't know if you knew this, Chris. So you can click on the item that you sold, and there's an option
Yes.
to view the video receipt, which gives you the exact time that you sold that item, and then also you can simultaneously cast your live stream to YouTube, Twitch, I believe, and then Facebook all at the same time. So I usually like to do YouTube just because sometimes I can get more buyers to come through. So I just sent them the link to the YouTube and said, "Hey, at 37 minutes, this is when the item was sold." And they're like, "Okay, perfect." And they didn't have to give them their money back. So
Correct.
again, that's something that
And
Whatnot is
they usually
doing
will
to.
they'll usually remove that rating and they block that user.
Yeah, and they did. They removed the rating and then they blocked the user. Shout
Yeah.
out to
So
Omaha guy.
that's what I'm talking about. So, of course, with every platform, there's going to be scammers that try to figure out how to work it.
Mm-hmm.
So Whatnot does have scammers on the platform, that always, of course. But I will say that they are very good at finding them and removing them. Um,
Have you run into any kind of scams on your end, Chris?
you'll have. I've had someone message asking to purchase stuff off site,
Mm-hmm.
which is the same thing you used to get on eBay. Someone would send you a message, be like, "Hey, I want this item, but I don't want to pay. Let me help you
The
not pay
fees. Yeah,
fees. Here's my PayPal." And I'm just like, first of all, the fact that you just typed PayPal has already sent a red flag
exactly.
that they're now watching this chat. That's how I used to respond on eBay, but on Whatnot, I just ignore it and I just block them, because anybody trying to message you about selling stuff, or even if, because there's now a marketplace on Whatnot and you can sync items from Poshmark. I don't know if you can do it from eBay yet, but they're working on it to where you can cross list onto there. You're going to get people messaging you like, "Hey, I see you have this for sale in your store or in your marketplace. I'll buy it for X off air. I'll message you on Instagram." I just
Yeah.
block.
And I've sold maybe 20 things off of just the marketplace on Whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
That
It
is
does.
that
People
that is
go.
not like merch related. That is legit like items or Lego sets or things that I want more money than I would get like if I ran it through the auction.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, the marketplace is great. I
Yeah.
search on there for vintage toys all the time.
Yeah. So you mentioned contacts through Whatnot and how they're so accessible to people. One of the things that with us, because they did contact us about selling on the platform, so we do have like a direct connection. And one of the things that they do is that every Wednesday, every seller in the Whatnot category, we have a Zoom call. So any things that be coming up or new implementations or just issues that we have as electronic sellers, we can just kind of voice those out every Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 4:15, we have this call, and one of the things that they implemented is that we couldn't, because we were selling electronics, anything that had a battery now is going to have like it was going to have a hazmat
Hazmat
sticker,
sticker.
and then we couldn't use any priority boxes. But
Correct.
they made it to where if you hit electronics, no matter if it had a battery or not,
It put the
it
hazmat
was
sticker.
as had a hazmat, and we're like, hey, you need to fix this because
Yeah.
some of the items we're selling do not have batteries in them, and we want to put them in a free priority USPS box.
Yeah.
You know
Yes, because they advertise, "Hey guys, get all your boxes from USPS for free."
exactly. So now this week they have changed it to where now you can toggle off the hazmat thing.
Oh,
So that's
perfect.
something that they listened to us, and so with that being said, whichever category that you sell on, try to figure out who your rep is, or the leader, or the manager, or the general manager in that category is, and just kind of pick their brain. Because a lot of the times, like for instance, this Friday, there is a big electronics show this Friday. They have Random Frank P, which is like a big electronics YouTuber that like
Mhm.
reviews and electronics and stuff. This is like his fourth show. So what they're doing is that everybody that sells in the electronics category, if you schedule a show that day, they're going to give you a certain amount of money for you to buy stuff to give away or just to have a show that day. So
Nice.
that's something that you can benefit from, and your show will automatically be on the homepage, the little carousel that has the featured shows on there. So make sure you find out who your rep is and like different, because they have different promotions on whatnot like all the time. So I know that one of the things that when we do talk to the reps, I always tell them, and my rep, he did come on the podcast. I'll link it down below, and one of the things I always ask them is what are some of the things that we can do to have better shows that show up. And he told me several things that you can do, especially if you're starting out, that have good thumbnails on your show, like pre-schedule your show ahead of time, have a good thumbnail. You use the video, you can upload like a video preview, and then list your items beforehand with pictures, because Whatnot is looking for those things. And if they see that you have a good show, they'll tend to push your show to the top of
Correct.
whatever category that is. So that's something that someone that may not have, like a huge following or is starting out trying to gain that following, that's something that you can do right now that's going to help you, that's going to separate you from all the other Whatnot shows in that same category.
And that's the same tip that I give everybody as well, especially with just starting out, is make sure you're not using a photo. You're using, even if it's just a screen record of the photo, upload a video so you can share it. And more importantly, so you can get your people that come to the stream to share it. Because the example that I give would be, let's say I'm selling all plush. I'm having an all plush show. It's my first show. I'm a new person, but Harry Tornado sells plush on his show. So maybe I share it on Instagram, on my Instagram story, and I tag Harry Tornado. Hey, selling plush. Harry goes on Whatnot because he's a big person on Whatnot. He goes into a lot of streams and supports people. He shares it. So you never know who's going to share your stream. But if you're uploading a photo, you don't give the availability for your people to share your stream. So all it takes is one person that's bigger than you to share it. And then now you've got more people interested in your show. And it just kind of sends out like a spider web of people that are now connected to your show.
I like it.
And then
I put out a little like questionnaire on Instagram, like what people would like to know about Whatnot. And one of the questions that came up says, how important is a good thumbnail really? So that's kind of like something that you just spoke on, Chris, about, the video, the thumbnail. I'm sure you still want the thumbnail to be a little bit of engaging, but really the video, like you were saying, is more important than the thumbnail, I would think.
For sure. And so here's what I do. So, and you could do this if you sell in, let's say you have on Wednesdays, you do plus shows, and on Friday, you do electronic shows. You just create 2 different videos, and then you can just repeat them for all of your shows. Like we use the same video because what we do is the same all 4 days. And that's the other thing, is when you create a show, you can repeat that and then do it for the entire month. So we create at the beginning of the month, we create all of our shows for that month. And then that first show in the month, we let everybody know, hey guys, all the shows for the month have been uploaded. Please go ahead and bookmark all of them. And of course, there are videos. So if you want to go ahead and share them, do that as well. Tag Flip the World TX on Instagram, and we'll reshare it and give you a shout out.
There you go. Which that leads me to a next question that someone had. Do you have better success scheduling out your shows far in advance versus not?
Yes, I personally do, because again, I'm not at that level. I'm not at that level where I could be like, boom, random pop-up show in 30 minutes. And then all of my followers get a notification. Now, I will say that I do random pop-up raids, because that's another thing that I think is amazing about this platform is you can literally promote or send your people to someone else, or have someone send their people to you. There's no other platform that you can literally, like, I get on, if I notice it's somebody's first show, I'll get on like, what's up guys? Hey, look, I had a great day today. I appreciate you guys popping in. Just wanted to say thank you. As the title says, blah 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 is having their first show. Let's go ahead and send them a big welcome to Whatnot. Let's go over there and have some fun. Never telling you have to buy anything, but let's at least go over there and tell them have a good show. And then I'll shoot my
Yes.
people over there, and then I'll engage in the chat, because again, it's a very communicative app.
Yes. I had probably the biggest raid of all time. 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, when Josh was doing his giveaway only.
Oh yeah, I was like
Oh, I thought
1800.
he froze again. Yeah, his giveaway only show, and then I was the one that he rated right after the show.
Oh
So
my god.
immediately I had 1,500 people in there, but it was nuts. So right away I'm like, okay, let's give this away.
Boom.
So like the people that were, looking to get something for free, now they're following me. You don't have to stay if you don't want, but I appreciate
Exactly.
you. And then people stayed and they purchased items later on, as the show went on. So that worked in my favor. And that's something that, again, Whatnot is doing that I don't think was ever even like a thought
No.
on any other, like, whoever thought of that is an absolute
Dude, how
genius.
awesome. I mean, first off, it's absolutely 100% free. It literally takes 2 clicks. If you're already streaming and you're done for your show, you're like, all right, guys, well, I'm going to send you over to
Yes.
blah, blah, blah. Most of the time you're going to find somebody that, you've interacted with. They know how to handle a raid. I am going to start working on some content about like how to handle a raid, because we have raided people and they're just not either on camera or they're just looking down and they don't even know what's going on. And that
Wow.
that can suck at times. But again, you're going in there with good intentions. And so it's like, it's absolutely free. And like, we rated somebody today when our stream ended, we sent 55 people to them. And they literally started bawling because they
That's
only
awesome.
had like 4 people in their show. And 4 to 60 like that. I mean, that literally changes somebody's mood, their day, even if those people don't buy anything. But just knowing that all those new potential followers, potential customers, like, you can't do that on any other platform. And it cost me nothing. It cost me absolutely zero. I literally just said, hey guys, let's go raid this person. They've only got 4 people. Let's see what they got to sell.
Yeah, it's awesome. So that's another benefit of Whatnot, which the benefits are insane.
And we
Which
haven't even touched about tipping yet.
let's get into that. Yeah. Before it was I think they finally figured out, because before it wasn't tipping didn't exist when I started.
No, so when I started, everybody, because I don't know anything about gaming, just off the bat. I'm not a gamer. I've never played video games in my life. Behind these, over here on my shipping table, I have a flat screen, and then Stacy got me an Xbox, and brand new, and I've played it 4 times. It just sits there. It's just not my, whatever. But everyone said, oh, well, this is like Twitch with reselling. And I was like, okay, well, let me see what this Twitch is. And so I checked it out, and I was like, wait, these people on Twitch are just playing video games, but people are tipping them.
Which is crazy.
I was just like, this is nuts. They're like, hey, I love your stream. Here's $5. I love what you're doing. Here's $10. And so I was like, okay, well, this is an entertainment platform. Where's my tip feature? So I immediately started, I had already started that open dialogue with Whatnot about, there should be a tip feature. Like, for right now, and I sent him a picture. I was like, I'm adding buy me a coffee.
Yeah.
To buy it now. But what I was noticing is I would do a buy it now for $2. You want to just buy me a coffee, $2, which you can't buy coffee for $2, but I still had to ship them something.
Yes.
So then I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to ship them that's $2? So I was sending out stickers, which I'm just like, okay, well, this isn't worth a poly bag and this big dumb 4x6 label. And then finally they came out with tipping, and I was just like, oh, game changer.
What's the most you've ever gotten tipped?
The most we've been tipped so far. In one show, or just one person?
One person.
$50.
That's amazing.
It blew my mind. You almost feel like, I mean, obviously it's awesome. And I don't know. Sometimes it's surreal. Like, you gave me 50. What?
Yeah. That's like I mean,
And I don't have like a shipping label. So it's not like I can be like, okay, I'm sending you. I mean, I can find their address because they
yeah,
probably bought something before and then just like, be like, hey, look, like this is too much. This is awesome. I'm going to send something extra in your package.
it's
What about
crazy.
you?
Maybe like 10 or 20,
Dude, that's
but no,
still
I
insane.
know it's insane. Like people are just so giving and want to help like support you, which is awesome. And another thing that, unlike YouTube, whenever someone tips you, you get 100% of that money.
Who
100% of
does
it.
that?
Yes. So
Who gives you
no
100%?
fees, no fees are taken out. You get if someone tips you $50, you're gonna get all the $50,
All 50.
and that goes immediately goes directly into your account.
Yeah. You don't have to have 1,000 sales to get 100% of the tip money
Mm-mm.
immediately. That
Which is awesome.
it's mind boggling to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see people on YouTube and on Twitch getting these insane tips.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I get it. I mean, I get on there. So what we do mainly because I myself am also an active buyer on Whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But no, people give you 100% of the tip. And you can cash it out instantly. But what I've been doing is I use that tip money to then go back into the platform and tip other people, purchase from smaller people, people in the Flip the World army, things like that. I had to limit the amount of money I was spending. So what I do is I'm like, okay, guys, whatever I make in tips, I'm going to put back out onto the platform.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we're almost at an hour mark, and I don't want to keep you because I know that you got to go to work tomorrow, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
Yeah.
So
And because technology, you sell electronics, you got any CPUs for sale?
I know, people. We come across laptops sometimes.
Okay, let me
So
know.
those usually go for some good money.
Yeah.
But so for someone, last kind of like hoorah, like for someone like, well, I do want to say before we get into that, but let's talk about the cons of Whatnot. What can be something we've talked about the pros. We've sang the praises of Whatnot. Can you think of anything that is just you don't like about the platform?
It's not that I don't like. It's just one thing that I would like to see a much faster improvement on. I have a very strict guideline of not talking bad about how my bills are paid.
I get
So,
that. No, I
um,
understand that.
but this is something that
Completely.
I've emailed to seller support. I've talked with my rep about this, and they obviously as a company grows, this is obviously something they are working on, and especially me who has no technological background with IT or anything like that, but the glitches and the like if someone gigantic is doing a show, everything crashes. Like last week, the entire site crashed
Yes.
for
Yes.
2.5 hours. I was live.
Ooh.
I was live and it just crashed and I lost like 12 sales. Like it kept saying payment fail, payment fail, payment. Like I ran 12 things, people won them, and then it said payment fail. And I've never had more than like 2 in a row. So I was like, hey guys, I think something's going on with the site. So just hang tight. We're just going to keep running stuff. I know you guys payment's good for it. I'm still going to put it in the cart. I'm still going to buy it. I know we're going to figure this out. And then it just went, and I immediately just called. I was like, yo, what's going on with the site? And they're like, hey, there's a giant, all the servers are down. And I was like, what's going on? They're like, we don't know. And then I started thinking, I was like, oh God, it's 8/24. It's Kobe day. They're running Kobe's for $8.24. All the sneakerheads crashed the site. On Kobe day.
That's crazy.
So the only negative I would say is they definitely need to get the servers more, lots more.
Them.
Yeah,
Yes.
but again, I don't know anything about IT. I don't know how hard or easy that is to make happen.
Yeah, I think that is the third instance that I can recall that it's gone down. The Post Malone, the first one that I was actually on live was when Little Yachty was selling his like shoe collection.
It was Little Yachty, Post Malone, and then Kobe Day.
Yep. So again, that's something that they do need to figure that out, which I guess it's a good problem to have.
I mean, that's a great problem to have. That means there's that many people on the platform, which as a seller means, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But what I am doing is I am looking
at the big time names and when their shows are scheduled, and I'm trying to see if my show's lined up on that same time frame, because I know that there's a chance there could be something that happens. And so I create a secondary show and I just clone the items just in case
Oh, yes.
for
And
later
that's
in the
something that we
evening.
can get into, like cloning items and really get deep into the weeds on that.
Oh yeah, it's
Which
really
other
awesome.
techie whatnot stuff, we can do a whole different show on that.
Oh
But
yeah.
last whatnot thoughts, Chris.
I think that if you are a new person to reselling and you have the mindset of moving inventory and not wanting to store stuff, which to be honest should be every reseller's number one brain.
Yes.
You're not in the business of hoarding stuff. You're in the business of selling stuff.
I always tell people I'm in the selling business, not the storage business.
Exactly. I'm not in the storage business. It's a great platform to move stuff super fast. I 100% don't believe you have to be some crazy character or have a personality to sell. Like I said, I follow a lot of people that I don't even know what they look like, and they sell amazing stuff. There's a jewelry person, they sell sterling. I watch their stream. They literally run it 16 hours a day. They have
That's
five
insane.
employees. They have 5 employees, and like every 4 hours, a new shift, a new employee, but the stream never stops. And I
That's
don't know what any of
crazy.
them look like because all I see are their hands.
Uh-huh.
But they're crushing it. And so if you have product, if you have the availability to get product, if you're a reseller, your availability means as many thrift stores as you can go to, or Amazon return stores, or wherever you get your inventory. You can always jump on, and even if it's like 20 items. Oh, I got 5 shows this week and I'm selling 20 items a day. That's still 100 items. Who's selling 100 items a week on eBay?
Yes.
A full-time eBay reseller sells 100 items a week. So you could
And
do
I'm
it.
doing this part-time. I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
So I'm not, you're doing 4 shows a week. I'm doing one every Saturday.
Yeah.
And I sell anywhere from 80 to 100 items on that Saturday. But that is a lot. Like I've had shows to where we made over 2K net.
Yep.
Which is which reseller is making 2K net part-time.
Yeah.
That's,
and if you do that once a
insane.
week, that's eight.
Exactly.
That's 8K net a month part-time.
Exactly.
That's 4 shows.
It's work.
Oh, of course, but it's not 7 days a week work.
Exactly. But you got to put in the work to be successful. You can't
For
just,
sure.
half-ass it.
That's the other thing. That's the same thing with every platform, though. I mean, the whole thing with the Tech and Sport Daily Refinement was like, you want to get to nirvana where you're listing the same amount that you're selling every day. And for us, we were around 30. So we'd list 30, we'd sell 30. And then my brain, I'm like, I'm literally doing this 7 days a week. 7 times 30 is 210 items. I do 4 shows a week now, and I sell 100 to 150 items per show. And I don't have to wash them. I don't have to photograph them. I don't have to list them. I throw them in a box and I send them to my customer. So I'm selling 3 to 4 times more items in less time with less work and making significantly more money. Like, it's possible. Seriously. I am a homeless dude. I look homeless. And I'm very transparent about what we're doing.
I think that's what they like about you, though, Chris.
Yeah, like I have, when I walk into the gas station, the homeless dude's like, Jesus, dude, you need $1? I'm like, yeah, you got one? Like, January to right now, we're at 153,000 gross on Whatnot only, 4 days a week, and no photos, no listing, no washing. And my last check, I'll have to check my spreadsheet because I'm real anal about numbers.
Yeah.
57.6% return on investment. Our highest ROI on eBay was 37.8. So we're making more money doing less of the traditional reseller work. And I'm having a blast doing it.
That's the best part. Because we're like, it's an experience. It's so much fun to do it.
I get to talk about reselling every day on my stream. People ask me questions. I answer them. I talk about what's going on in my life. It's literally like going live on YouTube or vlogging, but in real time and engaging with people. Like, and we don't all agree on the same stuff, but we're all in a safe space. And hey guys, judgment free zone. I don't care who you voted for, what you believe in. I'm selling stuff from the bins, baby. Let's have a good day. You know,
I love it. I love it. I love
I,
it.
I actually wake up enjoying what I do. And I honestly, I wish this platform would have been around like 10 years ago.
What do you? This thought just came into my head. The headspace that you're in now, compared to the headspace you were in 2020 when your pest control business got basically shut down.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Like, how does that feel? Like in 3 years, your life has completely changed.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I could not thank COVID personally enough for what it's done to my life. And I know that sounds like horrible considering, yeah, I know that's like a wild statement, but like, and I think if people reflect on what I just said for a second, like COVID opened up the eyes to everyone. If you really sat and thought about it, the government told a good majority of the people in this country that what they do for a living, what they chose as their career, was not essential. Crazy. And to just chill at home and here's some play money. Like, what? That was the biggest wake-up call to me ever. Like, yo, the government thinks that little of me. Let me just do what I want to do in life and see how that goes.
And it seems to be going great for you, Chris.
Ah, man, I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Like, I literally couldn't.
My wife tells me, you know, when we're packing stuff on Sunday, and she's like, you know, if you really wanted to quit your job, we can do that. Like, we could do this full time. And luckily enough, I have a job where I absolutely love my job. Like, I go in, I have my own office. I bring my dog with me to work every day.
Oh,
you know, like awesome. Everyone that I know knows that I'm a reseller, that I sell and whatnot. And they just they love knowing about that aspect of my life. And I enjoy my bosses and everyone just lets me do what I want, you know, but it could change in a heartbeat, you know, on a turn of a dime. And, it could, you know, if I had to, I can be a whatnot reseller full time. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. So you're in a position where you love what you do, and you have a side hustle that you love what you do.
Yeah.
So you are literally in a win-win.
I'm in a win-win situation.
I mean, most people are not in a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Most people are actually in a lose-lose situation. They just won't accept it. And again, you still have to put in the work. Reselling is not easy. What we're doing is not easy, but
it's not busting the atom either. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah. I'm not doing open heart surgery, but I'm doing what I am passionate about every day that I work, which is 4 days. In 4 days a week, I'll make, at the end of this year, we should break probably 210, 215K selling 4 days a week, looking like a homeless person.
That's insane.
You would never be able to tell me that I would ever achieve that. High school graduate, that's all I got going for me. Oh, and I'm an ordained minister in the state of Texas. Other than that, dude, I that's it.
That's awesome.
Anyone can do this.
Yeah. Like, anybody could do this, guys. Like, you don't understand. Like, it's completely changed the way that I look at reselling going forward.
Yep.
Like, I don't even want to, like, listing something on eBay, even if it sells for like $100, it doesn't excite me. It doesn't excite me like if I were to sell something on whatnot that I know that it sells for like $1 more than eBay value. Like, that excites me. So
yeah. So no, dude, I could not talk more. I could literally talk about how whatnot has changed my life, and how I think if people would just like give it the same chance and put in the same amount of effort that you did when you first started selling on whatever platform you started on, I guarantee you, give it give it 6 months, 4 to 6 months, you're going to start seeing the results of the work. Because you got to remember, when you started selling on eBay, you didn't immediately start making all this money. You had to grow it. You had to build your listing bank. You had to learn sell-through rate. You had to learn all that. There is no sell-through rate on Whatnot. There is no sold comps. You could sell something. I mean, today we sold our 20,000th item, and it was a brand new with tags Levi's denim jacket, and it went for $71, which is close to what you can buy it, if not a little bit more than what you could buy it for brand new in the Levi's store. But because it was the 20,000th item, and because multiple people were bidding on it in a bidding war, your customers determine the value.
Yes.
Like if you were running something that I had as a kid that I haven't been able to find, who knows how much money I would spend. And I've bought a lot of toys that I paid way more than I should have because I've never been able to find it. And when I saw it on the screen, I felt like a kid again when I saw it. I was like, oh, I got to have that. Swipe.
Preach,
so
for sure.
It's the best.
It's the best. So guys,
use the Nashville Flipper link, man. Sign up.
I was going to say, if you want to try Whatnot, and if you just want to go on there and purchase something, I'll list both of our links down below, both of our affiliate links. And if you want to become a seller, we'll put those on there as well. If you have any questions about selling on the platform, reach out to me, Nashville Flippers, reach out to Chris, Flip the World Texas. We will be more than happy to help you because we want to see people win. We don't want to, it's not a competition. Like when Chris sells something for a lot of money, I'm like, heck yeah, man, do your thing. Like, and it's the same thing. Like we want to see everybody win. We don't want to be, rising. What's the, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, iron sharpens iron kind of deal, like
exactly,
like the tide raises all ships kind of thing, like we want to see people win. We want to see you win. We want to be able to hear, I was in a dead end job working for some jerk and I finally decided I want to work for myself, and Whatnot has completely changed my life. Like that's what we want to hear, because we love this platform so much, and this is why we're doing this, because we want to see you guys win, and this is the next thing. Get on the ship early, man. And
100%.
I don't think we're even in that early, but it's completely evolving and changed since what you were saying in the beginning, from a trading card Funko auction to now selling jewelry, selling home goods, selling, whatever you want to, you can sell it on Whatnot.
Look, I'll use another seller, and I'll make the statement that was going to be my closing statement when I spoke about Whatnot at FlipCon, and I didn't say it. And then when I said it off stage, everyone was like, "You should have said that." Renzi, they're now called Renzi, was at the first FlipCon on a panel speaking about a platform that they don't even sell on anymore.
That's crazy.
Think about that. They were speaking about a platform that they no longer sell on, and they only sell on Whatnot. That speaks volumes.
Volumes. Yeah. So there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope you learned something about Whatnot. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Follow Chris, Instagram, Whatnot, YouTube. Follow him everywhere, guys. The man's a legend, living legend.
Follow me.
So, and we do want to give a shout out. It's a little late. We do want to give a shout out to the sponsor of the podcast, My Reseller Genie. Use the code Nashville Flippers. Know your numbers. Use My Reseller Genie, and you're gonna use the code Nashville Flippers. You're gonna get 15% off your first month. So, anything else for the people, Chris?
I just want to say, Flip the World Army, I love you guys. Shout out Stacy, and we'll see you guys at the bins.
See you guys. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. See y'all. Thanks.